Crystal River marks the beginning of a series of built-up areas that increasingly get denser and denser as we approach the Tampa Bay area. I generally enjoy the more natural areas of Florida as opposed to the beach sprawl and the commercial sprawl of the coasts. But unfortunately, that's just a fact of life of being in Florida around the edges. Thankfully, here on the Gulf Coast, you do get the occasional respite from the built-up areas, and you get a stretch of a more natural kind of scenery. I definitely prefer the nature to the beach sprawl and the commercial sprawl, but this is just a preface of what we're going to be getting in a few days when we go up the east coast of Florida. For now, I'm just kind of enjoying the green areas while I can. The West Coast definitely has a more laid-back vibe than the East Coast. But I think it's plain to see that even here, the Florida of old is definitely in decline. The fishing villages and orange groves of the past have been replaced mostly by hotels and condos. If you look carefully, you can still see signs of old Florida every so often, little pockets poking through the suburban clutter. But at this point, it seems that old Florida has been mostly banished from being around the edges. Welcome to Madera Bickell Mound State Archaeological Site. This is according to the sign, real Florida. I gotta have an issue with that. Florida is a complicated place, and it's not my favorite place in the world. Lived here for a long time, but it's all real, both the good and the bad. I used to come to this park as kind of it wasn't a ritual, I guess, but every so often I would come out here. You can see there's a lot of damage here from recent hurricanes. Milton and Helene both came through here, and you can see the tops of the trees are gone. So the focus of this park is this big mound over here, which is a Native American mound. And to my understanding, they're not entirely sure who built it. But certainly there were lots of Native American tribes in this area prior to the Spanish arrival. This was all countryside back in the 80s and 90s. This is all new construction, houses all over. It's a real shame. I think I very much preferred it when this was just swampland back here. This is something that they probably wouldn't do today, is put a boardwalk up the mound. So these mounds serve different purposes for different groups of people. And I believe this one is a burial mound. But they've done some excavation here, but not a lot. They're trying to keep it pretty much intact. Hasn't changed much since the last time I was here. I'm glad that they've preserved this, because it would be very easy for the state of Florida, especially now, to try to get rid of this history. I will not be digging or removing artifacts. But basically, this is a giant pile of shells they call shell midden. And the natives would pile up the piles of shells and dirt and build up the land. A lot of archaeologists I've talked to compare it to a giant trash heap. Oh look, we got a little friend here. Let's see if I can get a good shot of him. Hey buddy. He is definitely keeping an eye on us. It's remarkably chill. This would be a Cuban anole. You can tell oh, there he goes. They can change color somewhat. They can be anywhere from bright green to that dark brown. That's probably about as dark as they get. And they're ubiquitous around here. Really all over South Florida, but well, if there has to be a real Florida, I think this would be my favorite. All right, we need to get going.